Hello. Anyway, this is Revival Center Live, and we're glad to talk to you again this morning. And it's about 11:30 on Wednesday morning. We just got done serving folks at our food pantry, the community food pantry again. And we had a great volunteer force that helped make sure that people in our community got their food that they needed to just kind of make it through this difficult season. So it's a good morning.
It's a good morning, and it's pretty nice out there, too.
Oh, wow. Absolutely beautiful. So what do we want to talk about today?
Well, let's start off with a little review of what we've got for communication set up for Revival Center.
Okay.
So first of all, we have our Revival Center Facebook page. So if you have not yet joined our Facebook page, please be sure and look that up and join. And then also when you're
And
on...
should they like it and share it?
Well, of course.
Okay. You should like it and share it.
But you should also join. That's
Okay.
a real important thing for the page. Okay. And then on the Revival Center page, you can also find a place there to connect with a new page that's gone up. It's called Cadillac Area Come Together. One of the ladies in our church has been real actively working on that, and it's really taking off. Got a lot of people who've already joined that page, and just a good way for the community to communicate. A lot of good things are being shared, things about, people who have needs and what we can do about their needs,
And resources.
resources that are available, and all kinds of things. So be sure and take a look at that. It's called Cadillac Area Come Together. Okay, and then also on our Facebook page, we have the Cadillac Revival Center prayer group. So if you have prayer needs, be sure and let our online prayer group know, because
Right.
they are standing by, ready to do what they do best, and more than willing to help you out with your prayer needs. And obviously this is a time when we really need to take advantage of people who know how to pray a prayer of faith and get things done. So those are a couple of ways on Facebook that you can
wait a
communicate with us.
minute. You didn't tell them about the 1-minute devos I do every day. 1-minute devos. That's right.
Yeah, he's been really busy.
Wherever I'm at some particular time that I feel some measure of inspiration, I just record that inspiration and send it out there. So look for a 1-minute devo every single day. And, one time it was 1.5 minutes. So sometimes a little longer than that. But anyway, the truth of the matter is I think that you will probably enjoy it.
As well as we're going to try and keep doing these, at once every couple of days or so that we have an opportunity to really communicate directly with you as a congregation and a community. And remind you that we love you and that we are here. And a lot of things are going on behind the scenes, that, you may not be aware of. But we're really busy and really doing our best to keep things moving forward. On with the communication. Besides Facebook, you can also go to our website. And if you've got a pencil and paper or something to write this down, please do. They've been working really hard on getting our new website up. It's revivalcentercadillac.org. revivalcentercadillac.org.
Revivalcentercadillac.org.
Say it again.
Revivalcentercadillac.org. Even I can get that.
All right, we got it. Revivalcentercadillac.org. On YouTube, you can find us at Revival Center Church Cadillac. So it's a little bit different, just one more word, Revival Center Church Cadillac. Apparently, there are a whole lot of revival centers around the country, so we have to be real specific about our name.
But we're the only one in Cadillac.
In Cadillac. Okay. And so those are three things that you've got easy access to, the Facebook, the website, and the YouTube channel. And we're doing our best to just keep communicating and keeping the lines of fellowship open and encouragement open. And so whether it's a 1-minute Devo or just letting you know that our food pantry is open. We're doing our best to communicate with you all the things that we have in place to keep Revival Center healthy, to keep the Cadillac community healthy, and we are very, very blessed at how many things the Lord has brought together for us to be able to get through this season. And so we're just praising the Lord that so many things are going right. It's really, really been encouraging. Okay, you did say that the food pantry went on this morning, so tell us what that looked like. What did that look like?
Well, we're open between 8 and 11 a.m., and people come through on a first-come, first-served basis.
And that's every Wednesday morning, right?
Every Wednesday morning, and we're trying our best to help them with the social distancing as well as being able to get their food. And so it works really, really smoothly. So they get to come in and choose their items, and we don't ever have any more than one person at a table at a time. So it's really, really worked out well. And one of the things that worked out well too is for us is this last Sunday and the next 2 Sundays, we're going to make sure that our services, our worship team plays and sings, and I preach, and so that you can receive that on Facebook Live or on the YouTube channel. And so that is something that's out there. We want to also tell you that pay close attention to future announcements about Easter Sunday. So we've got some ideas about how we can celebrate Easter Sunday in some way together. And anyway, you'll be wanting to hear about that. So pay close attention for those announcements when they come.
You have to know that he's just dying sitting here because he wants to tell you all about it. He's so excited.
I gotta wait.
So anyway, okay. So we've got lots of things planned for the future. My screen just went off, so let me get it back up here. And we'll be doing our regular Sunday services, as Pastor said, both the 9 and the 10:30. Did I get it right?
9 a.m. is for folks who like hymns. And, we sing the old hymns. We have a great time singing them. We sing them really loud. And we encourage you to, get around your screen, whatever that may be. It may be a phone, maybe a computer, maybe your television, and to sing with us. The words are on the screen so that you can join us in that respect. And then at 10:30, we'll be having our contemporary worship, and again, the same sermon. Sometimes I preach it better in the first service than the second. Other times I preach it better in the second service than the first.
I don't know. What do you think? Should we do like we do at the Olympics and give him a score, like either he did a 10 or an 8 or a 6.5?
Hopefully it's not a 1, And the thing about it is you can join us there, and
Yeah, we just need to listen to both sermons so that we can really help you rate that,
right.
Get that done.
Well, the good news is that it's like getting ready for church means you can sit there in your PJs, and that's a benefit. You can get your coffee pot going, and you can have coffee as many times as you want to. And I don't really care if you spill it; it doesn't make any difference to me. And that's an
inside joke. We've had a lot of problems with coffee spills in the sanctuary. Yeah. The carpet cleaning has been really expensive.
Then the other thing that that can happen is we just want you to just join with us and sing nice and loud. And another benefit is if you don't really care for the sermon, you can always mute the preacher, okay? Just want you to know. And we don't have any parking problem online. I got to tell you, Facebook Live, there's no parking issues. And so just want you to know
seating is wide open.
Yeah, seating is wide open. We don't have folks wondering where they can sit. You can sit right there on your couch. And so join us on Sunday morning. These next 2 Sundays are going to be extraordinary. And, this Sunday and then Palm Sunday. And then look forward to something even better as we try and find a way to get together on Easter Sunday. So we'll see how that works.
Okay, and while we're doing those services, we are also taking communion together. So when you sit down for our live stream on Sunday morning, be sure you have some communion elements, whatever you need to. If you don't have, bread and grape juice or whatever. Substitute something. Use a saltine cracker or a tortilla or, whatever you need to do.
But make sure you're ready for communion,
be
because we
ready
share
for
that every
communion.
Sunday.
Yes. And so put that on your grocery list when you do have to go out to the grocery store to get what you need to be able to participate in communion. And then we're also encouraging everybody to participate in the offering time. Now, we were absolutely thrilled at the response in our offerings this past Sunday. It was impressive. Folks, you did a great job. I know that this whole thing of giving online is something that's brand new for many of you.
Text to give.
Text to give is it's a stretch for people who are used to the senior coffees at McDonald's. That's enough said about that. But for some of us, it is a little different to take on that kind of technology, and you did it. You pressed through. And I am so impressed that you really, really took on the responsibility of learning how to do this. And
Well, it's not all that hard, because if I was able to do it.
This is true. And I'm sure that you encouraged a lot of people, because you can
Maybe.
do it. You can do it. We do want to remind you, too, though, that if the text to give thing is not for you, and I don't know if you can even see this, but this is our regular offering envelope. Can you see? I don't think you can see that. But you remember these, they're in the front of the seat in front of you, or the back of the seat in front of you when you're sitting in the sanctuary in the little pocket. We have these tithe envelopes, and they have specific things for our giving. And so when you do text to give, it's very similar to using one of these tithe envelopes, because you do the number first. And let me give you that number one more time. We're going to do a little video clip here in just a second. But the number is 810-202-0605. And then you put in the amount and the fund. And I just want to remind you that it's very much like what you do when you fill out your tithe envelope. There's a place for which fund you want it to go in and how much you want to put into that particular fund. So it's very much like doing a tithe envelope. Now, for those of you who this is just beyond what you even want to try, there is still a good old-fashioned resource. You write your check, make it out to Revival Center, you stick it in an envelope, and you mail it. The P.O. Box is 667. You know how I remember that? You know that awful number 666?
It's one number different than that.
Pastor Joe, years ago, went to the post office to sign us up for that post office box, and they tried to give him 666.
Whoa.
And he said, no way! And so we got one up on the Antichrist. We're 667. That makes it really easy to remember our post office box. Just drop your check in the mail, and we will be able to process it just like normal. So
Right.
There are a lot of ways that you can give, but we want to thank you for how faithful you have been, for the giving outside of your comfort zone, for the faithfulness even when it just doesn't seem like nothing is normal right now. But you are faithful even when it isn't normal. And I am impressed.
And also, folks outside of our regular attenders here at Revival Center, you joined with us because you believe in what we do. And I got to tell you, a big thank you for those of you who joined with us and gave, to Revival Center, even though you don't attend here. Thank you. You have a place in every soul that's won to Christ through the Revival Center ministry. You have a place here, and thank you so much for your giving. It's really, really much appreciated.
Very much so. And, I just kind of feel like we gave the devil a big black eye on Sunday with that offering, because he just keeps wanting to tell pastors all over the country, your church is going under because nobody's going to give because they can't come to the building. And, he's just a liar.
That's because the church is not the building.
That's right. We are
the
not.
people are the church.
We are not brick and mortar, we are living stones. And I appreciate the living stones that have been faithful in giving. Okay, now you had something else that you wanted to talk about a little bit today.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I know that we're in this season where, we're kind of in, shelter in place, and and they've listed in our culture a number of folks that need to. They're essential workers that need to go to work and that kind of thing, and and they need to be out there, and that includes folks that are first responders and people that work in hospitals, and but also people that work at McDonald's and the car wash, and so it's like, not that that's a bad thing, but the thing is I haven't seen any place that has said that pastors are essential, and anyway, tell somebody please that pastors are important to you, and tell your pastor. If you're a part of another congregation, tell your pastor that they're important, and because I believe that they are essential during this season, because it's not just the physical that we're going through, but there's a spiritual dynamic to all of this, and we need to have as much leadership and godly leadership during this season as we've ever needed in our lives. And so, yeah, I think your pastors are important, and no matter what congregation you're a part of, they are very, very important. And so tell them, make sure that they know that they're important to you, and continue to support them wherever they are.
And thank you, Paula, for your really nice comments. And if the rest of you have any comments that you'd like to post, just go ahead. If you have a question or if there's anything that we can help you with, just go ahead and post, and we'll try and get to them in just a minute. Got to clear my throat. I'm not dying. Excuse me. Okay, all done. I wanted to talk about some other essential workers in the kingdom. We do have our essential workers that are here in the community. Our first responders, our medical personnel, our food service people, and our pastors, who are very essential. But there are essential workers in the kingdom also. And the essential workers in the kingdom right now are basically all of us. I've seen so many things on the news, and I know that you're all plastered right to the TVs and watching the internet and all that kind of stuff, and trying to come up with, all the latest, the breaking news and everything. And then you see all of these stories about, well, here are retired medical personnel who are coming back out of retirement to help, and, all of these other essential people that are coming out of retirement to help in this time of crisis, which is really an admirable thing. And we are so blessed that those people are willing to literally take their life in their hands, when they could just say, oh, I'm going to stay home, and just shelter in place, and I don't need to be at risk, and they're getting out there and they're doing what needs to be done for the community. And as I was thinking about them, I thought of how many people there are in our congregations who are gifted in many ways, that they haven't yet used those giftings. Now, we have the fivefold ministry gifts that, are talked about quite often: the apostles and the prophets and the evangelists and the pastors and the teachers. And you remember from the junior church days, when you get the object lesson of using your hand for the fivefold ministry gift, and the apostle is the thumb, the opposable thumb, and the prophet is the pointer finger that declares and speaks forth the word of God, and the evangelist is the long finger that reaches out to the world, and the pastor is the one who's married to the church and there to love and care for them, and the teacher is the one who brings balance to everything. Okay, so we have those fivefold ministry gifts. But did you know that for each of those fivefold ministry gifts, there are people who have those fivefold ministry, shall we say, personalities and giftings that don't necessarily hold that particular office? Now, for instance, the prophet. There are a lot of people who prophesy. A lot of people do. A lot of people who are spirit-filled, the Holy Spirit moves through them and they can give a word at a moment. But that does not mean that they hold the office of prophet. The office of prophet is a special place that God has called certain people to. They speak to kings. Okay, they have unusual and wonderful power and giftings. They hold the office of prophet. But many people can prophesy. Even Saul did. He prophesied when he got around other people who had prophetic gifts. He just started prophesying. Well, there are many people within the church who have those types of giftings that maybe don't hold the office. Maybe you are not a pastor, but you have that pastoral type gifting that you can be out there checking on the elderly, making sure that people who are going through a difficult time have an encouraging word. You can be a pastoral gift even if you are not a pastor, because this is a time of emergency when we need to call out all the giftings in the church. And so even though you may not hold the office of pastor, you could be pastoring the people in your home, the people on your phone list, the people on your Facebook page. You could be giving them encouraging words. You could be praying for them. You can be pastoring them. You can be the evangelist, even though you may not have that gifting to, hold great crusades and be a revivalist or even a street evangelist. Maybe that's not your gifting, but you can share Christ with someone. You can be an evangelist. You can come out from that hiding place or that place of where you feel like, well, I've done my part for the kingdom, and so now I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and let the fivefold ministry gift take care of all of this. Well, we need you. This is a crisis time, and you need to step forward, and you need to be all that the Holy Spirit needs us as a body to be to the entire church, and not only to the church, but to our community. We're not here just to minister to each other. Yes, we do have to take care of those who are part of the household of faith, but we also need to be ministering to a lost and dying world out there that needs Christ. And so whatever your personal giftings may be, even if you don't hold that office, be that person in this time of crisis. Come out and use the gift that you have to be a blessing in the kingdom right now. I know that God is going to use each one of us. And, I've been thinking more about the teacher thing, which is my calling. And I've been kind of waiting to see if we'd have any requests for Bible studies online and that kind of thing. And nobody's really mentioned anything yet. And so I just want to put out there, would any of you be interested in doing an online Bible study? And I was thinking that maybe the book of Revelation might be a really interesting thing, just to kind of keep us focused and positive, because it reveals Jesus Christ. It's not a revelation of horrible things of the end. It is the revelation of Jesus Christ. So if you're interested in maybe joining me in that, let me know. Make some remarks in the comments or whatever. I don't want to do a whole lot of putting stuff out there if nobody's going to be listening or interested. And so I need you to encourage me. If you're ready to tackle something like that while we're sheltering in place, let me know. I'd be glad to go through it with you.
Wow.
There
I guess
go.
you just did a teaching.
You never know.
And that's a good thing, because we need to know what we can do. You didn't say too much about the teacher other than what you had talked about with maybe possibly, but I'm thinking to myself.
Those parents that are homeschooling right now.
Yeah, they need the gift of teacher to arise inside of them. And,
they do.
Take that role.
Yep, I know.
Because they need it.
We have a 3-year-old that's sheltering in place with us right now too. So believe me, my heart goes out to you, moms. We're gonna get through this, and we pull out that teaching gift and just really get creative and do all that we need to do in order to keep our families together and keep those educations moving forward and all of that. So be encouraged. Stretch yourself. Yeah, that kind of hurts when you stretch, but in the end you grow.
Yeah. So, think that's most of what we wanted to talk about today?
I think so. I think I've got all my notes covered, and I just want to say thank you for those of us who have joined. I know I saw Mabel's name up there a little bit ago, and Dawn was listening in, and Jennifer, and so we're glad to
And
have
Paula?
you. And Paula,
Paula
I
was
mentioned her a
listening?
minute ago.
Yeah.
And so thank you for listening in. Please share this on your own posts, and look for another one coming up soon. We'll try to do this kind of late morning when we can, so 11:30ish, just whenever we get all of our little ducks in a row, so we're ready to actually.
So if they want to be part of a teaching that you're going to do, how do they respond to you? How do they let you know?
Comments right here on this video. Whenever you see it, just give me some response and let me know that you're interested.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that's it, and we hope you have a great, great day, and shelter in place, stay safe, and but depend on the Lord. I can tell you this much: the most important thing you can do right now is to call on the Lord. He's the one that can stop this thing. Amen. He's the one that can help us through this thing. None of this caught him by surprise.
That's right.
And we're looking forward to victory on the other side, and maybe. Just as the church gets out of the building, maybe, just maybe, as the salt gets out of the salt shaker, we will change the world in which we live.
Yes, we will. Have a good day, folks. God bless.
The ability to do online giving. Online giving is easy, quick, and fun. Today, we're going to take a second to show you how to do it. What you need to do is text the number 810-202-0605. Then, text the number with the amount you want to give, and then the fund you want to give it to. Click send and you've given your tithe. If it is your first time giving, it might ask you for a bit more information, but don't worry, it won't do that every time. Thank you so much for joining us at Revival Center.